This is a great routine that uses a principle that Dan Harlan's using in the routine he's selling called photo finish. But I've just made it a little bit fancier. I've used my own pictures. I've used an index that makes it a lot easier. So feel free to look up Penguin Magic, Dan Harlan, and Photo Finish. But this is the routine. So here's how it goes. I start off with a basic photo envelope from Costco, and I actually had these pictures printed at Costco. And what I did is I went online and I said iconic pictures of California. So these are really 20 pictures of very popular destinations throughout all of California. And I've actually been to each one of them, so I can talk them, and you almost talk about them as if they were your pictures, if you want, or you don't have to. It can just be a kind of a travel thing. So what I do is I talk to the couple, and I love using a couple, and I say about making trips, making little vacations, about who does the planning, who packs the suitcases, who gets the car ready, somebody has to go to the bank and get money, who makes the reservations, who puts together the little snacks in the cooler, and don't forget your own little pillow. Talk all about the process that's involved of getting ready to go on a trip. So these are 20 pictures, and I explained to them how this works. So let's just look at the top one. Here I have an index that has all 20 pictures with little index cards so I can find them easy. And inside of that, so let's look at this one. This is obviously whale watching. So if I pull out whale watching, I show him how this is this picture right here that has been cut and put together to resemble that picture exactly. So each of these pictures has 4 little sister pictures in here that go together. So as they go through these pictures, I'm telling them that we're going to take 10 out of these 20, and these are going to be destinations that you've been to and maybe want to go again because you didn't have enough time, or you were with your parents or whatever, but you want to go back, or pictures of places that you've never been that you've always wanted to go. And it's interesting to watch how they talk about that, how they reach that decision. You talk about the decision-making process, how you have to give and take, and you have to compromise, and you have to collaborate. It's a wonderful discussion, and it really bonds the 3 of you, or how many people are at the table. So as they go through, you can talk about them if you want. Some places they won't know what it is, like Mono Lake, very popular. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull this one aside because we have it here already. So as they go through, they're gonna pitch, or put aside, not pitch, they're gonna put aside 10 pictures because that they don't want. And then they have 10 left of places that they do wanna go. And Glass Beach, north of San Francisco. But let's just say that their favorite one, they've never been whale watching. As they reach their favorite, just kind of push it out to the side, and you can change your mind as you go along. But at some point, you're going to have 9 pictures of places you want to go. Mount Whitney. And here's the sisters, painted sisters in San Francisco. And you're going to have 10 that you don't want, 9 that you want to go to, and your favorite. Now, as they're going through these pictures, I'm trying to get ahead of them by picking out, and I'm just going to pull. I'm not going to actually pick all these out, and I'm not going to mix them up just so I can make it easier for me later. But as they're talking, I'm rifling through here, and I'm pulling out the pictures as they pick out their favorites. If they change their mind, it's no big deal. But eventually, I'm going to have, they think I'm going to have 40. Because there's 4 for each picture and there's 10 pictures, but I'm actually going to pull their favorite and put it to the side, and I'm going to continue to pull out other ones by a mistake and put them over here. So they're seeing a mismatched pile. Normally I would just toss them, but as you can see here, I'm putting them in order. Just make it easier for me to pick up later. And I know which is their favorite, and the rest of them are going here. So now we've got what they think are 40 pictures, and I'm going to ask them to cut it in half, whatever way they want, and then each of them are going to shuffle these piles. And they don't have to shuffle them. They can squish them, squash them. They can do a rosette. They can just spread them out on the table or really shuffle. It doesn't matter. They're pretty stout. They are standard photographs. One of them is going to get done a little bit earlier than the other. And when they do, I have these pictures ready to go, and you can't see me, so I'm going to do it on top of the table. Normally, I would take this and put this in my lap, and I'd put it face up in my lap like this. And whenever the first person was done with their pictures, I would slide it off the table onto the stack and just bring it up. And they have no reason. I can even play with them because they're completely mixed up at this point, except for the 4 pictures that represent the whale that are on the bottom. Then the other person is still fussing with it. You can ask them to help them out and help them put the cards together. It's completely random, whatever you want to do. And when they get done, these pictures go on top. Now, we talk about who makes the decision. And it's really a personality test. This picture's pulled to the side. That's their favorite. These are the rejects. These are the 9 where they might want to go. So at this point, I again show the randomness of the pictures. You can kind of recognize where they go, what they are, but there's no order. Impossible for me to know what order these pictures are in. Just casually turn them over, and I show the couple what I want to do. I want to go 1 picture in each pile. Just go back and forth and back and forth. And whoever wants to do that, you give them the cards and you allow them to go back and forth. They can put 2 at a time, 3, 1 at a time, as long as they go back and forth. And the other person can tell them to stop at any time they want. Just say stop, and they do. So these cards go down. You can pitch them into that pile, and it just makes a big mess over here. Oh, geez, makes a big mess over here. And I just had a low battery, so I'm not sure if it kept going. I throw them all over here in this pile, so it's quite a mess. So now I'm going to plug in just in case something happens here. Should have plugged in. Okay. We're plugged in. So now we have 2 piles, and if you think about what happened, because those cards were on the bottom of the pile, those 4 cards are now here on the bottom because they were what was going down on the table. So at this point, I say you can have either pile you want. So one person takes this pile, the other person takes that pile, and you tell them to deal down. 1 in each pile, just 1 at a time, back and forth. This time they can't mess up. So now they do that, and the other person in the couple, they do the same thing. And you know where this is going. This is the same principle that we've seen before. And now you review what's happened. 40 pictures, 10 favorites, 10 maybe later, 1 favorite of all. You pull out 40 pictures and you mix them all up any way you want. You started dealing. You told them to stop whenever you want. You guys took half, and then each of you, you don't forget, you shuffled the heck out of them, and then you went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So let's just take the top picture off of each pile and then pull the other ones aside. Oh, very clean, very open hands. Don't make a big deal out of it, but just very clean. So now after all that, we've ended up with 4 pictures, blah, blah, blah. And we turn these over, and you can see right away that we have got the whale that matches exactly the picture that they chose. Fantastic routine, very personal, lots of conversation, 10, 12, 15 minutes as long as you want to play it. I absolutely love this routine.